All right, so here's the deal. For the longest time, I thought being successful was just about working hard, maybe dressing a little nicer, and I don't know, drinking my coffee out of a mug instead of straight from the Starbucks lid like a feral raccoon. But no, turns out, the difference between people who just get by and people who thrive is in the small, everyday habits, stuff most of us don't even think about. So today, we're diving into 10 habits that might be keeping you average, and what the upper class does instead. And trust me, some of these, oof, I had to unlearn them myself. Let's go. Number 1, you think success is for other people. Okay, let's start with some real talk. If you secretly believe success is for them, rich people, lucky people, people with connections, guess what? You'll prove yourself right. The biggest difference between the upper class and the average person? Mindset. They believe they belong in the rooms they walk into. They expect good things, they act accordingly. And over time, that belief turns into reality. Number 2, you stay in your comfort zone. You know what's cozy? A warm blanket, a cup of tea, and never taking risks. You know what's also cozy? Staying exactly where you are forever. And trust me, I get it. Change is scary. Trying something new means opening yourself up to failure, embarrassment, or that awful moment when you realize you have no idea what you're doing. But here's the thing. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by playing it safe. They push themselves. They put themselves in rooms where they feel out of place. Until they don't. They take opportunities before they feel ready, because they understand that nobody ever feels ready. They meet new people, even if it's awkward. They try things they might fail at. They embrace discomfort because they know that's where growth happens. Think about the last time you did something truly outside your comfort zone. Maybe it was speaking up in a meeting, introducing yourself to someone new, or trying a hobby that made you feel like a total beginner. It probably felt uncomfortable at first, right? But then, what happened? You learned, you adapted, you got better. Now imagine if you made that a habit. Imagine if, instead of avoiding discomfort, you sought it out. What kind of person would you become? Number 3, you accept the bare minimum instead of demanding more. Listen, I used to be the queen of, well, at least it's something. Job offer? Well, at least it pays. Relationship? Well, at least they text back. Sometimes. Restaurant meal? Well, at least it's not burnt. Sound familiar? Here's the problem. When you make excuses for mediocrity, you teach yourself to settle. You tell yourself that barely good enough is acceptable. But guess what? The upper class doesn't operate like that. They understand a fundamental truth. You get what you tolerate. If you keep saying yes to the job that underpays you, the relationship that drains you, or the lifestyle that doesn't fulfill you, life will just keep serving you more of the same. Because life, much like an underdressed salad, will only be as good as what you demand from it. Successful people, they don't apologize for wanting more. They negotiate their salaries instead of just accepting the first offer. They walk away from relationships that don't meet their standards. They send the undercooked meal back instead of pretending to enjoy it. It's not about entitlement. It's about knowing your worth and acting like it. So if you've been stuck in the, well, at least, mindset, let this be your wake-up call. Start expecting more. Start demanding more, because you're allowed to want better. And more importantly, you deserve it. Number 4, you hang around people who drain you. Oof, this one's a little personal. But listen, your environment shapes you. If your circle is full of people who complain, make excuses, or bring drama like it's their full-time job, that energy rubs off on you. Successful people, they're selective about their company. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, inspire them, or at least don't make them want to scream into a pillow. And no, I'm not saying you should start ghosting your childhood bestie, because she binge watches reality TV instead of reading Forbes, but be mindful of who you give your time to. Number 5, you start your day reactively instead of proactively. All right, be honest. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? If your answer is, check my phone, welcome to the club. I used to do this religiously, scrolling through emails, Instagram, or whatever catastrophe Twitter was serving up that morning. But here's the problem. Starting your day in reaction mode puts you in a mental fog before you even leave bed. Meanwhile, upper-class people, they don't roll out of bed and let the world slap them in the face. They have intentional mornings. Maybe it's journaling, stretching, drinking water before caffeine, or just sitting in silence for 5 minutes instead of diving straight into other people's agendas. I used to tell myself, oh, I'm just staying informed. But really, I was letting my mood be dictated by a random email or a news article I could have read later. Now, I make a conscious effort to start my day on my own terms. It's a small shift, but trust me, it makes a huge difference. Number 6, you confuse busyness with productivity. I used to think being busy meant I was doing something with my life. I'd run errands, answer emails, reorganize my fridge, and then wonder why I wasn't making actual progress toward my goals. Spoiler, being busy and being productive are not the same thing. Wealthy, successful people, they prioritize. They delegate. They ask themselves, is this actually moving the needle? If not, they cut it. Because let's be honest, spending 3 hours color-coding your inbox is just procrastination in disguise. Number 7, you treat money emotionally instead of strategically. For the longest time, I had a love-hate relationship with money. Some months I was in full-on save every penny mode. Other months, I'd convince myself that life is short. And suddenly, I was justifying buying things I didn't need because I deserve it. There was no middle ground. Just a cycle of guilt, stress, and impulsive decisions. And honestly, that mindset kept me broke. The wealthy see money as a tool, not a stressor. They invest it. They make it work for them. They learn about it. Because here's the truth. If you don't understand money, someone else is making money off your lack of knowledge. And yes, I know finance can feel like a foreign language, but even just learning the basics of investing, budgeting, and wealth building will put you ahead of 90% of people. Number 8, you neglect your personal brand. Okay, real talk. If you Google your name right now, what comes up? Go ahead, I'll wait. If the answer is nothing or worse, your old MySpace account from 2007, then we've got work to do. The upper class understands that your reputation is your currency. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a corporate professional, or just someone who wants to elevate their life, how you present yourself online and offline matters. So start thinking about the impression you leave behind, because someone is always watching. Number 9, you let your appearance work against you. Now, before anyone comes for me, let's get one thing straight. I'm not saying you need to look like a supermodel to be successful. This isn't about looking like you walked off a magazine cover 24/7. But whether we like it or not, people judge books by their covers, and that includes us. Think about it. You could be the most intelligent, capable, and interesting person in the room, but if you show up looking like you just rolled out of bed and grabbed whatever was sort of clean off the floor, that's the message people will receive. I don't care. Upper-class people, they understand the power of polished presentation. It means looking put together, clothes that fit well, fabrics that don't look cheap or worn out, well-kept shoes, neat hair, fresh breath. Seriously, this one is underrated. These are small details, but they speak volumes. Here's the reality. The way you show up tells the world how to treat you. If you don't look like you respect yourself, why should anyone else? Number 10, you ignore the power of small luxuries. For the longest time, I thought luxury meant designer bags, 5-star hotels, and expensive cars. But real luxury? It's how you treat yourself every single day. Wealthy people don't wait for some special occasion to enjoy life. They create small moments of elegance on purpose. It's using a beautifully scented hand cream instead of whatever was on sale. It's upgrading your worn-out pajamas to something that makes you feel put together, even at home. It's brewing a proper cup of coffee instead of rushing through an instant one. The point? Luxury isn't about price. It's about intention. When you start adding little touches of beauty, quality, and care to your daily life, you automatically start carrying yourself differently. When you treat your daily life like it's valuable, you start expecting more from the world, and the world responds accordingly. So if any of these habits hit a little too close to home, good, because that means you're aware. And awareness is the first step to changing everything. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these habits are you guilty of, and which ones are you already working on? Or maybe you've noticed something else that keeps people stuck in average mode. Drop it in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, stay classy, manners matters.